What's up, everybody? Welcome to another reaction from Monday Night Raw. I am gonna give you my thoughts on Raw for last night, and let's just start from the very beginning with all 6 of our Money in the Bank ladder match participants up on ladders, and they're just having a nice little chat. Now, I get it, the ladders for, Money in the Bank, but I don't really think it was necessary, but at the same time, I don't really feel like it's that big of a deal that they were on ladders. So, overall, it was a really good segment. Every person really got in some pretty good jabs at the others, and it kind of helped just once again establish their characters. There was a lot of really good banter between these guys, so that was always good. And of course, Teddy Long returns, and he just starts jabbering about a bunch of different match types, and no one knows what the fuck he's talking about. So, I mean, that was interesting. I don't really think it was necessary, but I mean, whatever. So then we get Stephanie McMahon putting everybody in singles matches against another participant in the match. So we start off with Cesaro versus Y2J, Chris Jericho, which was a pretty good match. It was probably the third best match of the night, though, because we actually had some pretty damn good wrestling tonight. But we got a nice little spot here, probably my favorite spot of the night, where Cesaro goes for the springboard uppercut into the code breaker, but obviously rolling out of the ring doesn't get the pinfall, kind of protecting the finish a little bit. But the submission win was probably a really good idea, and Cesaro, the sharpshooter that Cesaro does every single time, just is really good. So then we get a video package on Seth Rollins for their upcoming match, Rollins and Reigns for the WWE title, and this, like, I get that there's the whole background thing that you want to do, you want to hype this matchup, but it just gives the fans more reason to cheer Rollins. Like, they had a cheap jab at the end, but nobody's gonna just take that cheap jab. Whether you like it or not, Seth Rollins is going to be cheered, Roman Reigns is going to be booed. It doesn't matter, what you try and do. That's going to be the case. And so for me, honestly, this kind of hurt what they're trying to do with Seth Rollins a little bit, because they're trying to push Seth Rollins as a heel so hard, but obviously that, they just aren't doing a very good job of that, to be honest with you. And I don't know really if it's their fault, per se, because the fact of the matter is Seth Rollins is going to be cheered. People want to cheer him, and people will cheer him. They'll probably boo his little jabs, but every time he enters the arena, they're going to cheer the guy. It's just going to happen, kind of like Kevin Owens. But Kevin Owens is actually a heel, and he does a very good job at that. So I just don't think Seth Rollins could even still be considered a heel at this point. So then we move on and we get Rusev versus Jack Swagger, and I honestly skipped the match because we got Rusev versus America for the 100 bajillionth time, and it's just too stupid at this point for me to even care. The match ended when Rusev pushed Swagger into Titus, and then Swagger and Titus tried to get Rusev down, and for kind of a cheap ending. And I am just fed up with what they're doing with Rusev, to be honest with you. Like, this whole USA thing needs to stop, because it has been going on for like 2 years now, and I am just done. I am not caring at all about this whole Rusev thing. I mean, Rusev started to get some development when we went away from the USA thing, even with the League of Nations. I honestly thought that was a good thing because the League of Nations, they didn't have like the League of Nations versus America. That was never part of it, which I thought was really awesome that they did. That they, didn't put the League of Nations versus the USA like a lot of people probably thought they were going to do. Instead, they had the League of Nations like kind of actually be a tag team that just didn't just bash on America in competition. They bashed on him a couple of times. But anyway, Cena comes out and he calls out AJ Styles, and we got the part where AJ Styles said that Cena was going guys like Cena bury guys like him, and they have this whole segment where AJ Styles and John Cena both cut very good promos, and I think John Cena being there really helps elevate AJ Styles' promo game a little bit. And I think that the match at Money in the Bank is going to it very well might steal the show. It might be the best match of the night. But that's yet to be seen, obviously. But actually acknowledging the fact that Cena buries people, I thought that was absolutely a great little thing. But I honestly did not expect that in the least. But then they try and attack Cena, and the New Day comes out and saves them because the New Day got attacked last week. Then we get Enzo and Cass versus the Vaudevillains. Enzo and Cass come out, do their normal shtick. It's weird because, to be honest with you, their shtick that they normally do didn't really come across as strongly as usual. Like when they enter and they do the whole, I'm Enzo Amore and Certified G, all that stuff. That was fine. It was after that really, it just didn't come across very well. I mean, they smoked their opponents. They do that really well, but it just didn't come across very well. And it ended when the Vaudevillains had this excellent spot. Shout out to Enzo for even taking this, but where they do the exact same thing that happened at Payback, just to get that heat from the crowd, and Cass goes off and they get disqualified, which I honestly liked, but I also kind of feel like at the same time it might be already setting the seeds for the tag team to break up, like where Cass like takes this too far and Enzo like has to leave or something like that. In my opinion, it looks like the seeds are already being planted for a tag team breakup, because the fact of the matter is they're going to try and push Big Cass to the moon. But the problem that I have, too, with Big Cass is that he doesn't really have a persona, per se. Like, he doesn't have a character, really. But anyway, so then we get Sami Zayn in the back with Del Rio, and they just have a nice little segment. It wasn't anything special. Then we have Stephanie and Teddy Long, and Teddy Long had a really good segment here. This really made the night in terms of Teddy Long, because so far, Teddy Long being there was just kind of like why? It doesn't really matter. But then this segment comes up, and you know why Teddy Long's there, and he kind of did a great job in this segment. Listening to his own theme song on his phone as he's coming into Steph's office, and we get it set fatal 4-way tag team match for the tag team titles between the Club, the Vaudevillains, Enzo and Cass, and the New Day, which is going to be awesome. Really amped for that. Most likely they're going to have the Club take the titles. I'd be very surprised if either of the Vaudevillains or Enzo and Cass won this match. They might keep the titles on the New Day, but I honestly think this is going to be the Club pulling out the win. So then we get Zayn versus Del Rio. They're still trying to pin Zayn as the underdog, and so they have Del Rio win. Obviously, Zayn loses nothing from this match, but Del Rio would also lose nothing from this match because, it doesn't really matter. So they're just trying to keep Zayn as the underdog, which, again, kind of sucks because that means he's probably not going to get to the top in the WWE unless they have some sort of really crazy movement, do the Daniel Bryan thing. So then we get Ambrose and Owens in the back, which I loved their segment. It was really good. And I honestly agree with what Kevin Owens has said, where Ambrose seems a little bit more off lately than usual. I actually think they're really doing a good job building Ambrose's character, whether it's Ambrose or the other writers or what have you. Ambrose's character is just getting better and better and more crazy, exactly what they want to portray. I actually really like where that's going. Then we get Ambrose, we get Reigns' story, really fucking boring. Nobody gives two hoots about this at all. And so we get backstage promo, Darren Young and Bob Backlund, which makes no sense. I honestly just... The Primetime Players splitting up really sucks, though. Not going to lie. Charlotte comes out, and then Natalya and Becky Lynch come out, and it ends in a brawl. Nothing really noteworthy here. Like, they're trying to convince Dana Brooke that Charlotte's just this underhanded, evil person, and I don't know. I didn't really care for the segment at all. But then we get to the segment that I liked, and that's Breezango. Just Breezango. I love this tag team. I like the remix that they've had the last couple of weeks. I've liked just the characters that they have, and I liked the backstage segment was pretty funny, and the match but this singles match broke down into a tag team match really quickly, and then Teddy Long comes out, tries to make it a tag team match, but can't, and then he's escorted out of the building afterwards. And I am really digging the Breezango tag team. I hope they become more of a serious tag team. I mean, Golden Truth, I feel like will never be a serious tag team. They're just kind of there as a comedy duo, but I would love to see Breezango get out of the mid-card and up towards the tag team title opportunity. I don't think they'll ever win the tag team titles, but I would love to see them at least get a shot. And then we get Stephanie McMahon just roasting Teddy Long. He leaves with his head down. The normal shenanigans because Stephanie McMahon just can't make anybody look good. And then we get the Club versus the New Day. Where the Club just takes out Xavier Woods right off the bat. They get the numbers game, and it ends up AJ Styles winning it by pinning Kofi Kingston off the phenomenal forearm. And then Cena making the save after the beatdown at the end. So, really good match. It's just not necessarily unexpected. In fact, nothing really tonight was unexpected at all. Overall, though, pretty decent show. I would like to say that I'm sorry for posting this so late after the show's over, but I did work until almost midnight last night, and then I didn't really wake up until about 3 hours ago. So I just decided, let's just take an hour and a half or so, sit down, watch Monday Night Raw, get the reaction out there for people. And make sure if you like this video, click the like button, subscribe if you have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on Monday Night Raw this week. And I'll have another Raw reaction next week. Next week's the going home show for Money in the Bank, right? Yeah. So that's going to be awesome. Cannot wait for Money in the Bank in about 2 weeks. So thank you all for watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, go back and watch other Raw reviews if you like this kind of thing. Or you can always check out some of my other stuff, my vlogs and the Nuzlocke challenges and whatnot. So, yeah, Grandmaster Shaman signing out.